Welcome into Moving the Chains, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Jarrell, we've got a great interview today, man. The new head man of the Union County Yellow Jackets, Bryan Robinson.
Yeah, man, it's great catching up with Coach Robinson there. Being an alum, a local guy, he's just really excited to get in there and put his stamp on the program. So it was great catching up with him, hearing what he's going to be able to do. And I'm really excited, man. This Union County program is one that very, very, well respected and just done so much historically. Would love to see them get back to prominence.
Exactly right. He's seen the highs of the high. He's seen some lows as well. So really intrigued to see what he wants to do there, how he plans to get them back to that high level. But once again, Bryan Robinson, new head man of the Union County Yellow Jackets, here on Moving the Chains.
Get ready for the ultimate South Carolina high school football experience with Movin The Chains. From previews to recaps, we've got you covered. Dive into our expert preview shows, predicting winners and sharing insights. Then join us post-game for the thrilling recaps, exclusive interviews, and highlights you won't find anywhere else. Plus, connect with fellow fans on our Friday night spaces on Twitter/X. No one covers South Carolina high school football like us. Join us at Movin Chains on all social media platforms and visit movinchains.com today.
Welcome into Moving the Chains, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. I'm Kevin Thomas alongside Jarrell Hendricks. Got a great interview today, a very special guest, the new head coach of the Union County Yellow Jackets, Bryan Robinson. Coach, how you doing today?
Doing great. Thank you guys for having me.
We appreciate your time. We really do. If this is you guys' first time tuning in, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter/X, Instagram, YouTube, and more at Moving Chains. Our website, movingchains.com, and our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. Coach Robinson was hired in November. He's been a longtime assistant for the Yellow Jackets and also coached at Jonesville High and Jonesville Middle School. He's also an alum of Union High. Coach, let's just start with the whole process. What was that transition like, kind of getting named the head man there at Union County and kind of getting put in that place back in November?
Well, it was very surreal for me as a player, former player, and a graduate. Having the opportunity to play for two of the best coaches in the state of South Carolina, with Coach Sheldula, the first 3 years that I was in high school, and then Coach Mike Anthony, the year that he came to Union was my senior year. And so I'm one of the few that's very fortunate that was able to play for both of those two legendary head football coaches. Was on the 1995 state championship team with Coach Dula. And then Coach Anthony talks about it some that, we kind of set the tone and the stage for that run that Union went on after we finished up, that we bought into what he wanted to do. He was a lot like Coach Dula, but a lot different than Coach Dula as well, and just embracing it. And in that year, a lot of people don't know that we won the first game, but we lost 6 in a row. And at that time at Union, that was not good. And, and Coach Anthony was kind of, feeling it, and everybody was like, I don't know about all this, but we stayed the course and got it going and wound up rattling off 6 in a row, winning 6 in a row, and getting into playoffs and having some big wins on the road and going to the upper state championship game against Daniel, a really good Daniel football team, and lost. But, those experiences really helped shape me in this position. I wouldn't be in this position without either one of those two men and what, influenced me on that end. And then Coach David Lipsey at Jonesville High School gave me an opportunity to coach when I came out of college back in 2002 and 2003 to start my career. And just to know that I'm in the similar position that Coach Dula and Coach Anthony were in, and then, of course, Coach Lipsey when we consolidated in 2007 is really surreal. I don't take it for granted. I don't take it lightly. And I'm very appreciative of the opportunity that the Union County School District gave me to lead our program.
Coach, you kind of touched on it briefly, and you led into my next question, and you mentioned getting your start there at Jonesville High. We talked a little bit off air. You've coached extensively in Union County, exclusively in Union County. But if you don't mind, just going through that whole process, after you got your start to where you are now.
Yeah, it just coming out of college and just looking for an opportunity, and had the opportunity at Jonesville High School to coach offensive line. I coached offensive line for 4 years for Coach David Lipsey, and I couldn't have asked for a better start because small school, 1A school, the roots of that community were in that school. Friday nights was very unique and special, and to be a part of that as a young coach with a great staff surrounding me was so fortunate for my career. And then in 2007, after being at Jonesville for 4 years, Union County consolidated our 3 high schools from Union and Jonesville and Lockhart, and I had the opportunity to be on that first staff with Coach Lipsey as the offensive line coach. And so we had a special group, a great group of kids to combine the schools in that year, because lots of people were concerned about how it was going to be and all that. And it was really a unique situation. And the best part of the situation was our kids, our student athletes that were a part of it from Jonesville Union and Lockhart, all embraced the opportunity, came together, became a team, and we made a run to the Upper State Championship game that year as well. So I was there at Union County High School for the first 5 years under Coach David Lipsey. I was promoted to offensive coordinator and assistant head coach in 2010 and served in that position for 2 years. And then a change was made at the head coaching position, and they hired Coach Steve Tannehill. And when Coach Tannehill came in, my wife at the time was pregnant with our second son. And, I had some opportunities, and they made some changes that it happens from time to time to pursue other opportunities. And I, decided just to take a step back and go down to the middle school at Sims here in our county and coach there. And it was really good for me at the time as a young coach and a young father to kind of have that time with my son, because I had my older son at the time was 4. And so to spend some more time with my wife and my sons and just recharge a little bit, because coaching is a grind. It really is. And if you do it the right way, it can consume you. And it's consumed me in the past. And so I was there for 2.5 seasons, 3 somewhat, and coached at Sims and enjoyed that and made lifelong friends. And it wound up being a blessing in disguise, because I came back on staff at Union County full-time for Coach Tannehill in 2015. And came back and helped a little bit in 14. But in 15, we made a run to the Upper State Championship game again against South Point, and came up a little short, but that was really fun. And being able to work for Coach Tannehill was quite an experience, because the knowledge that he has in calling and planning offense, especially in the passing game, was something that I still, have used as I built my career. And so stayed there. When Coach Bradley Adams came in the next year at 16, stayed on as offensive line coach. And when Bryan Thompson came in 2018, he asked me to stay on and be his offensive coordinator. And so I was his offensive coordinator in 2018 and the assistant head coach as well. And so we had a lot of fun. Coach Thompson was great to work with and work for, became a lifelong friend, and I owe a lot to him in learning, the relationship factor with kids even more and pouring into them. And so I was there with Coach Thompson from 2018 to 2023. And then Union County made a change, and they hired Coach Isom. And Coach Isom was nothing but gracious to me and wanting me to stay on staff and want to be a part of his staff. But at that time, I thought it was best in the position that I'd been in as the assistant head coach and offensive coordinator to just step away and let Coach Isom and his staff come in and start their program. And they came in and did that and did a lot of good things with our kids. And then in 2000, and I didn't coach football that year, actually. I had some opportunities at other places, and it just wasn't the right fit in terms of just being a Union County guy and family here. And both of my parents, my wife's parents, my sister lives here, her sister lives here, just, wanting to stay home. And I guess I'm just a homebody, I guess. Yeah. And so help coach basketball. I'd coached basketball a long time ago, and Coach Mr. Moss gave me that opportunity to help him out and had some fun, learn some new skills, and learned that I don't like being still on a bench because I'm used to up and down the sideline. Yeah. And but in 2020, I guess 5 it was, back last spring, beginning of summer actually, I thought I was going to do the same thing again. And then we had a position open up at one of our middle schools, Jonesville Middle School. So it's kind of surreal coming full circle to where I started. And got a call, and they asked me that their head coach had left to take another position, and they would like to know if I would be interested in taking it over for that year. And so I did. One of their assistant coaches was a former player that was a young coach, and I wanted to help him out just to, help him learn and grow, because he's very passionate about what he does. And so we had a really good year in terms of that experience, just back to the roots in the middle school and stuff like that. And then in the fall, when the position here came open, I was contacted to see if I was interested in potentially taking over and, being in the county and being invested here and things like that. So, we talked and met, and, I was offered a position to do it and talked to my wife about it, and she's on board. And one thing I can say, and I couldn't do this without my wife. She's one of the epitome of a coach's wife, because she's been with me through it all, through thick and thin. And she even married me anyway, because we were engaged when I started it. And the first year, that I did it. She stuck it out, and she's been awesome. We have two young sons, or young, they're not very young anymore, that have grown up in it, and it's been great. It's been a lot of fun so far.
Well, Coach, we mentioned you were hired, pretty early in the cycle back in November. How has that helped you as far as getting just your staff in place? Is that fully in place now? How is that shaping up? Any guys you're still looking to hire, or even some guys you want to shout out maybe that will be a part of your group this year?
Right. Yes, sir. It was really good. And I, being from there, and a lot of the coaches that were on our staff back at 18, 19, 20, and so on were still in the county and in the building as well, that had taken other roles, and some that were still coaching. So it was really good to get the job knowing the kids as well, because my senior class this year going into the 26th season were freshmen the last year that I was still coaching. So they were a little bit familiar with us and with me and many of my staff, which has been a good thing in our transition. But getting Coach John Langenfeld back, that Coach Langenfeld has been in Union County since consolidation, and he and I have been friends for 20 years and worked together for 20 years. And he's going to be our defensive coordinator and assistant head coach. He's done a tremendous job with our strength program over the last 2 years. So that was a seamless no-brainer. Coach Jared O'Shields is going to be my offensive coordinator, and offensive line coach. Coach O'Shields coached with us as well back previously with Coach Thompson's staff and did a great job. Coach Billy Ponder is a longtime coach in Union County. He's going to coach tight ends for me. He was on our staff. And so there's a trend with a lot of guys that we have Union County roots here. And the aforementioned Coach Bailey Gregory that was with me at Jonesville as an assistant that played for us. He is a really, really bright up-and-coming young coach that, gets it and what it takes to be successful, in my opinion, the relationships, the work ethic, the accountability, and the care. So having him on staff as a running backs coach is great. Shamar Glenn is going to be my wide receivers coach. He's going to be a retained member from the previous staff, but he graduated at Union County, played for us when Coach Tannehill was here. So that's awesome. And we hired Coach Matthew Gibson away from 96, had the opportunity. He's going to coach safeties for me, coordinate my special teams, and he's done a great job in this period of time of, getting here when he can during the spring. Even in the open season in March, after he was out of school, to come over and drive, close to an hour, a little more, to Union County to work. And that's what it takes. And to be investing your time with these kids and working with these kids. And then Jason Anabnett is going to be a young coach that we're hired from Anderson College, University, that's graduating. That's going to help with our linebackers. And then Coach Nick Lopez is graduating from USC Upstate here, and he's going to help with our cornerbacks. Nick graduated from Union County. He was on the 2018 Upper State team that we lost to Chester to, unfortunately. But I wanted to get as many guys that have ties here, that know this place, knows what it takes when it's been successful, that has played with us in our system, and how they were successful in it, to be examples for our young players to be successful in it too. And we've been very, very pleased with that. And so being able to do that, I also have Coach Freddie Bates that has been a long-time assistant at Union County, that has coached kids in this county for ever. And he coached me in middle school. And so, junior high, I guess, at the time. But to have him here, his wisdom and knowledge and example, just to, he doesn't have to do it, but he loves doing it because he loves our kids. And so that's been great too. So I've been really pleased with that. Still trying to fill out a couple of positions here and there, but I'm very fortunate to have a very strong staff already in place, from veterans to young coaches that are just thirsty to learn and work and all that kind of stuff. So I'm really looking forward to watching it grow.
Coach, part of this series is to get, people familiar with what you plan on doing in the program across the state and in your community, but also to incentivize these other coaches who are listening to us to see kind of what your plans are coming up. So this next question, we like to ask, what offensive defensive scheme should we expect from Union County going forward? What should we expect from Coach Langenfeld's defense there? And with your history of coaching the offensive side, being a coordinator, will you be calling plays, or will you leave that up to your coordinator?
Yeah. Well, on the offensive side, I'm going to call the offense just where I've done it before. And I think that I'm the type, and I've talked to lots of my peers as well that have been coordinators and have taken over and didn't call it. And they said, don't do it. You love it. You call it. You're not going to like not doing it. So I'm going to take their advice, because I I explored all options because being a first-time head coach at the varsity level, wanted to do what I thought would be best for our program. But, I do enjoy it. I enjoy the game planning and the play calling and things like that. So I'll do that. It's like I tell my friends and people, say, you ever watch me on a Friday night and I'm looking at my play sheet a lot, things ain't going real good. But if we just rolling with the flow and that feel's going, then we're doing all right. So, but I'm going to do that. But Coach O'Shea's, my offensive line coach and offensive coordinator, be heavily involved in the game planning and some of that stuff as well. But we're gonna do everything we can to run football. I believe in it. I'm an old offensive line coach, and I think that if you want to be successful, you run it and find ways to run it and find ways to get the ball to your playmakers in space, whatever it takes. But I'm also going to be smart enough, I think, that if we got to throw it 35 times to win, I'm going to do it because we have very good athletes. We have very good wide receivers in our young group of wide receivers that I'm excited to see. But I think my offensive system philosophy, whatever it is, 10 personnel, 20 personnel, 22 personnel, I don't care. Whatever it takes to score points, move the football, take care of the football, and help our defense out as best we can in time of possession. I believe in it. It's tried and true. But whatever it takes, how to do that, whether it's spread the field, whatever. And to me, a lot of times, screen game, that's an extension of the running game because you're getting the ball out quickly, you're getting the guys in space and let them run. So, that's kind of what my plans are with that. And it's predicated on personnel because it changes from time to time. In the years, I've caught it where we have 10 personnel full wide out on the field and we're spinning around a little more, running the quarterback. And at times I've been in 11, 12, whatever. We got tight ends. We got good running backs. We're going to use them. We're going to use our best personnel to make us be successful. Now, defensively, with Coach Langenfeld, we're going to base out of a 4-2-5. Last year, they were a lot more odd front in the 30 front, but we believe in it. We like it. We got pretty good size up front. And I told Coach Langenfeld, I said, look, here's the three things that are non-negotiables for me and what I want. I want us to be fast, physical, and fundamental. And we can do that, we'll be all right because we need to be playing fast because that's one of the strengths of our program is our speed. We have to be more physical than we have been in years past. And that's going back to when we were coaching previously, that we got to bring that physicality to it. We got to be fundamental. We got to do our job and put our kids in the right place to the best of our ability to go make plays defensively. But we want to cause turnovers, do all the things that people say. But the biggest thing is getting our kids in the right spots to be able to be successful. And I believe that wholeheartedly.
Coach, we love to, shine a light on some of the great kids we have across our state here on our program. And you mentioned you got some talent there. It sounds like some speed, some athletes for sure. Who are a couple guys we should be on the lookout for next year that could make a big impact on Fridays for you?
Gosh, I have a returning he was a freshman last year that started at wide receiver. His young man's name is DJ Worthy. He played really, really well as a freshman, and he's played inside, outside some, but he's not afraid to go across the middle. DJ's a hard worker in our weight program. Every time we're there on the field, he's there to practice, and he practices hard. So I've been really pleased with him. Cameron Fincher is a running back and a safety that he plays well above his size and well above his weight, and he brings the noise. I was talking to a friend of mine at one of our coaching clinics, and he said, who is that when you got back there that plays safety, that little fellow? And I said, yeah. I told him, I said, that's Cameron. He goes, he will strike you. I said, yes, sir, he will. And he don't mind doing it either. And I like the way he plays. I like the way he practices as well. Jamarius Smith is going to be an outside linebacker, kind of a nickel for us. He played some last year. He's a hardworking young man, great student. Comes to work every day in the weight room, comes to work out on the field. Been very pleased with him. And I'm really excited about, our running backs. And I got some young linemen as well. I want to give a shout out to one of my returning seniors, is Zachorian Jeter. Zachorian's a basketball guy, played offensive and defensive line, mostly offensive line, but he's really, really bought into our system, to the culture that we're trying to build, being a vocal leader in our weight classes and out on the field, and just really doing a great job with that. So those are some names. And Levi Gentry is going to be – he played some tight end last year. A couple of years ago, he was an all-region offensive lineman, so we're going to move him back to offensive line. But he's a leader in our program as well, so I've been very, very pleased with him also.
Coach, I got a two-parter for you, and it's kind of based on the same premise. With you getting there early in the cycle, being hired really early according, with November coming in there, and also having your familiarity with the program, with the community, with the building. How important was it to you to get there, kind of set your foundation on campus with that familiarity? And then also, being there so early, were you able to have an input on scheduling with this being a realignment year?
Yes, sir. Well, being in the building was huge because the Monday that we returned, because the school board met the Monday before Thanksgiving break. My press conference was that Tuesday, and then we went out for break for 3 days. So it was kind of the time to just kind of process. Plus, I was still coaching basketball, so I actually got the call that the school board had hired me coming home from a basketball game that Tuesday. So I was in the gym at the school when I got the phone call, so it was pretty neat to call my wife and call my boys and call my parents and let them know that it happened right there in the building. So that was pretty neat. But that Monday we returned back from December, in December after Thanksgiving, it was go time. I was in the weight room, that fourth block. I had fourth block free based off of my schedule at the time, and instilling the startup of how we're going to do things and our expectations. So that was really good to get the thing hitting off earlier, on hitting the ground early. Having Coach Langenfeld already in the weight room as a strength coach was big as well. And also having Coach O'Shields and some of the other coaches still around to be able to be around our kids, just to start building that trust, that camaraderie has been huge. So I've been really proud of that and proud of being able to just be there and just continue to do what we love to do there at home as we've gone forward. And in terms of the schedule, I began work on the schedule as soon as the realignment numbers came out. And, that always happens right before Christmas break. And, this is what school's going to be here and what school's going to be there. And, it got out pretty quick, and phones started ringing and started blowing up. And we were home, and my wife looked at me and she goes, we're on Christmas break. I said, not now, not right now. But she knew. She just shook her head and chuckled. And, it's funny how people can get your number so quickly as well. That, hey, Coach, I heard it through the grapevine. You're looking for a game. But, our schedule is built on people that are traditional rivals for us, that are close to us, that are teams that we should be competitive and win games against, with our Newberries and our, Clintons and Chesters and all of that kind of stuff. I hear a lot, Union and Gaffney, and Union County and Gaffney have been rivals for a long time. Why don't you guys play each other? I'd love to play them, but right now we're not at a place to play them. I mean, they're doing a great job. Coach Littlejohn is a good friend that I've known over the years and competing against him. He's doing a wonderful job. I'm glad he got the opportunity there. And but where we are as a program and where they are as a program right now, it's just not feasible. But one day, maybe, hopefully we can, because I would love to play them. I mean, because they're one of the best programs in the state. But finding teams that we've played against, coaches that I'm familiar with, that I feel like are good games for our kids and our counties and our schools both, open it up with Newberry. Cedric Jeter is a great friend of mine. We coached together on Union County staff in 2007 all the way up until 2014 when he went to Newberry. And he got that job, and it's just continued to run it the way it's supposed to be run, because he is an excellent head football coach. And I love playing against my friends because, and people ask me a lot, well, what's game you looking forward to the most? And I said, Newberry, because it's the first one. It's the next one that we play. And I get to compete against one of my good friends that I know does things the right way. And so, but getting Greer back on the schedule was really cool. Coach Young reached out to me. He's like, I'm still going. Don't know how much longer I'm going to still do this, but I want to get this game back. I think the Jacket Bowl's fun and good. I said, yes, sir. So do I. So we're going to play them again for the first time in a while. But getting, keeping Clinton, keeping Chester, and those games like that has been really good. And in our region, we play Broome and Chapman. We bring in Christchurch and Blue Ridge, and we've played Blue Ridge in our region in the past. And Christchurch is unique because when I was coaching at Jonesville 20-some-odd years ago, Christchurch was in our region, in Region 1-2A at Jonesville. So familiar with going there at least. I haven't played them in quite some time.
We're just getting into it now, Coach, but spring practice is here. What are you really hoping to learn about your guys in this time?
See how they respond. My thing is to see how they respond, because we bring a lot of energy. I'm very active. I'm loud. I love it, and I don't stand around as a head coach. I'm just watching. I'm always running around, and I think a lot of them are like, okay, this is new with being around me. But they have done a great job. Numbers are solid for the kids. We've had some new faces come out, and we've had some new faces, some old faces really show out in terms of, hey, we're here to work, we're here to grow and learn and buy into what you're doing. So I've been really proud of that. But just getting our stuff started and installed. We had a good March in terms of the open season for the ones that weren't playing baseball or running track, which, I encourage. I think that's great. I want them to play basketball. I want them to play baseball. I want them to run track because you're a teenager one time. And I know what it's like to be a multi-sport athlete at the high school when I went through, and I wanted to do that. But we've really had a solid spring so far. We went last Friday when we could go, and then we've had four solid days so far. We had the weather to deal with a little bit today, but we had a really good day. Got on the field for a little while after it dried out some this afternoon, and we'll finish it off tomorrow with a solid Friday. And next week we'll go, and then we'll have a couple of days that 18th and 19th and have a little spring kind of showcase, what I call it. Just we'll see what we can do. And, the last people who have spring games and all that stuff, our numbers are what they are, and we're going to go get some work in, try to put on a little something for the people to watch, and hopefully they'll enjoy what they see and just keep on rolling into the summer.
Coach, I know there was a consolidation, by the schools a few years back, but when you think about Union in the state of South Carolina, you think Union, Union football, and I just roll that into Union County. So it's a program with a very rich history. No secret, just hasn't had the performance the last few years that comes with, that expectation and the history that you guys have. What is something that, when you got into the building that you were like, hey, I want to change or put my stamp on this program to really get it back to what it was and get this thing rolling?
Well, I say this a good bit that when I only know how to do it one way, the way I came through with Union County, and it's built on accountability, it's built on discipline, it's built on hard work, and it is built on toughness and just sacrificing for your brother, sacrificing for your team. And that's what we're instilling on. And, things have happened over the years. Everybody dealt with COVID the way that they did and all that kind of stuff. And it's been a tough sledding because of 2018, 2019, we were really successful. We won our region back-to-back years. We played in the Upper State Championship, and we're a couple of plays away from beating Chester to go have a chance to go play for it. And in 2019, we had a really good team and made it to the third round of playoffs. Got beat by a really good Camden team that year as well. But, in the aftermath of this, it's just building those foundational pieces and what I learned from playing for Coach Dula and playing for Coach Anthony. And you learn something new. You learn something to take with you from every coach that I've ever been around. Coaching, playing for those two men, coaching with Coach Lipsy, coaching with Coach Tannehill and Coach Adams and Coach Thompson, and things that you take that you like and you want to do your own and kind of making your own program. And so just the buy-in, the belief, because when things don't go well, a lot of times that's what people expect. And the kids that are coming into our program now that are middle schoolers rising up into the high school, all they are familiar with is not a whole lot of success. And so that's one of the things we're preaching with the young guys is just believe what we're doing. Trust us in what we're doing, and we're going to do everything we can to help you guys be successful. And I firmly believe that we have the personnel and the talent to get this thing turned around and to be successful. I'm fortunate that my son's in the 8th grade, so I'm familiar with a lot of those young guys that are going to be a part of our program. Coaching at Jonesville last year, I had a really good group of 8th graders that I plan to see here as we get them going in spring practice. We had them coming this week, and then I didn't realize that one of our middle school Sims had a big field trip to Washington, D.C. You'd think I'd know that, seeing as my son was going to be on it, but you just kind of roll.
You get caught up sometimes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So we postponed it to next week, and looking forward to seeing that and see how many can get out. But just to get them around us, to see how we do things and get them there to look forward to the summer. But because when they get there, they're after Memorial Day is over with, and into June, they're Union County football players, and 9th grade and all the way to 12th grade. We work them together and grow them together and all that good stuff. So that's the expectation, just building it from the ground roots, those fundamentals, those foundations. a lot of stuff I put on social media is UC pride. We're trying to reinstill that pride in our county and our community, our program, all of that. And it stands for passion, respect, intensity, dedication, and enthusiasm. And I believe in those things. If you're going to be a successful player, coach, whatever it is, you got to have all of those things. And that's what we want to build them on.
Like Terrell said, Coach, proud program, proud history, proud community as well.
Sir.
Can you tell that, that they're hungry for a winner? And then also, how have they really embraced you, that you've gotten this job? Because I feel like it was really cool to see online a lot of alumni and former players really supporting you when you got named the head man here for Union County.
That's really one of the most special things about it, that, the people that I know, because like I said, I grew up here. My family's been involved in our community. My grandfather ran a business here in Union County that my mother still runs today. So my grandparents were invested. My other side of my family were invested in our community in a small mill town called Buffalo, and they're real close knit. So, seeing such nice remarks and support from people has been really cool and really neat. But the biggest thing too is my former players that have reached out and said a lot of nice things. I'm like, ooh, I didn't realize he really liked me, because I get on. But no, that's one of the things I think that I can hang my hat on a little bit, that even when I got onto them and coached them really hard, that they knew it was coming from the right place, that I love them. And if I didn't, I wouldn't be doing this. I would be doing something else. And, I take pride in that. I take pride in being a classroom teacher, teaching U.S. history. A lot of people say, oh, you ain't got to teach anymore. I said, no, I'm still going to teach one U.S. history, because that's what I enjoy doing, because I think it's very important. Because the best coaches that I've been around have been also really, really good teachers, because that's what the profession is. And so that's really been cool to see the support. Now, I do joke and say, everybody's happy, everybody likes me, everybody knows me. I hadn't lost a game. I hadn't made a bad play call, that kind of stuff, not gotten a first down or something like that. So there'll be people that'll be upset with me before it's all said and done. It comes with the territory. And that I would rather be somewhere like this, where the expectations are, let's win, and we're competing for region championships, or we're competing for state championships, than somewhere that it was just, okay, we won, that's great kind of deal. And that's what I'm hoping to get this thing back to, and planning to get this thing back to.
Founders Federal Credit Union means banking made for you. The on the go, the pick up and go, and the I want to go. Because at Founders, we give you the financial tools that make every dollar work for you. For the little things to the big things. For your future and your peace of mind. We'll always stay grounded in our roots, but reaching beyond what you'd expect is where we'll always go. Find out what our members already know and enjoy a new way to bank. Relax. You're with Founders.
Couple easier ones before your coach lets you go tonight. Maybe it's on the bus to an away game, maybe in your office for a home game. But what's on your pregame playlist as you get ready to take the field yourself on Fridays?
All right. Well, I'm the type of person that I listen to pretty much whatever the mood strikes me. I'm more of a classic rock kind of guy. I like older country music. Once you get into past the 2000s, you get into the 2010s with the country music, I kind of taper off a little bit.
Be careful, Coach. That's Kevin's favorite. He loves some Honey Bee, some Blake.
I'll go old school too. Come on now.
Be careful. My youngest just starts telling me all these country people that he listens to. I said, I don't know who that is, son. I'm sorry. But I did walk down the hallway the other day, was listening to Merle Haggard. So I said, I must be doing something right.
There we go.
But I like Metallica sometimes. That was my thing when I was playing. I liked Metallica. Love it. So we saw them last spring up in Charlotte. So that was my son's first concert. So we got to see them, and that was cool. But it just depends on what kind of mood I'm in. I've gotten older. I guess I'm more of a podcast kind of guy now. I listen to a lot of sports podcasts and some history podcasts and things like that. But going to a game, I try to – sometimes I want to relax and just listen to something kind of low-key, but most of the time it's something that's pretty wide open.
Metallica, spoken like a true offensive lineman.
That's right.
Coach, for me, everybody that comes on the show, we got to ask about food. Kevin and I are big foodies. We love to eat around the state. You've seen the hot dog videos, I'm sure. If we're coming to Union, coming to that area, the whole county, the whole county. So you shouldn't be able, you're from there, born and bred, the whole thing. You should be able to get us a good plate of food. Where should we go eat before we go see the Jackets at the field on Friday night?
We got two staples that are pretty solid in Union County now. One's the Dario, and Dario's local place, been open for a while. Got great hot dogs, so you might want to check those out. I like that. Their hot dogs and their Their cheeseburgers are good too. I got to be careful because I'm friends with all these people that own these places. You know, I don't want them to get mad at me.
We'll try.
Yeah,
we don't discriminate.
I used to be in pretty good shape. I got a little older. I said, I'll eat about anywhere. But they're really good. And then we have a place called Midway that's going out toward Buffalo. They barbecue hash. And the barbecue hash is great, but it was underrated. You can go out there for about $10 or less and get a meat and three. And that's pretty solid, and it's good stuff. I like going to days when they have liver and onions. I like liver, and just like to do that when I can. But those are two really good places amongst the many great places that eat here in Union County.
Okay, Coach. So actually, I went to Midway for the first time probably a month and a half ago. I went the barbecue. Yep. I got the barbecue sauced. I got the hash. I got mac and cheese and sweet potatoes. Yeah. Where did I go wrong? What did I miss out on? How was that order for the first time? Was that pretty good?
There's nothing. Yeah, not a thing.
I thought it was awesome. Yeah,
not a thing wrong with that. Now their chicken stew is really good too. Now.
Okay.
So it's really good. You check that out. I'm not a sweet potato guy. I like the mac and cheese. Yep. I'm a fried okra guy. Okay. I really like fried okra there. So that's my usual staple if I'm there when they offer. They only offer the liver and gravy and stuff on certain. I think it's Wednesday.
Okay.
But I get that, and I get 2 fried okras and a mac and cheese, and I'm good to go. That's my deal.
Yeah, he went wrong by not inviting me to come.
That's it. Yeah,
that's what happened. That's what happened.
They got so much good stuff. It's hard to pick when you go to places like that.
That's right. Oh, Coach, I know that you said obviously that the game you're focused most on is Newberry there in week 0. I guess it would be this year. But I got to ask, being an alum, being a Union County guy, when you take the field, I guess, week 1 it will be when you guys play at home against Greer. What is that feeling going to be like? I know this is a job that obviously you've had an eye on for a long time, I'm sure, and now finally being the head man there. How special is that going to be coming out of the locker room, first home game there for you as the head ball coach?
I'm telling you, I hope I'm going to be able to kind of keep my emotions together. Everybody kind of knows that I'm pretty loud and gruff and tough and stuff, and they know that till they get to know me a little bit. It's going to be emotional. I know it will be because, we come out of the locker room down near the fairgrounds, and a lot of people always talk about playing Union County when the fair's in town, and it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. But we come out, we do all our pregame stuff. We come out. We started a tradition when we came to Union County of coming through the stands. Like we have a press box, and we come down like a lot of teams do. And I was always in the back, like myself and Coach Langenfeld, our defense coordinator. I was always in the back, and just to make sure the kids got through and nobody messed with them and all that kind of stuff. And I always thought it was so cool when music hits and everybody comes down and the same people are in the same seats as you go through that press box tunnel and open it to go down those steps. And years ago when my son was younger, he was our ball boy, but he would be up there and my dad would be there with him and stuff. And I get a little choked up, but I can't imagine what it's going to be like to be in the front. And at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's about Union County. It's about all the people that have been in the position before me as coaches and as players, and it's about all the people that come and support us and watch our games. My family that has just supported me for so long. That's what it's about. But it's going to be neat. And then, like I said, I got to kind of keep it together. It's going to be cool. And it'll probably be like that, definitely the first game, but it'll probably be like that the last game of the season that we play at home as well, because I care about it. I love it. I played there as a player, played there in junior high school because at the time we played our junior high school games over. I played there in rec ball games. We call it Stinger League back when I played. I've been a part of something at that place the better part of my life, and to be able to be the leader of our team and our program and represent our county is very surreal, and I don't take it lightly, and I appreciate it a whole lot, and I'm looking forward to it. Really, I am.
Coach, we got some really good friends of the program that are Union County natives, and so we were doing our background on what we were going to ask you today, and we were told we got to bring up cornbread. Got to see what the plan for cornbread is going forward with the program.
Well, he is the director of football operations for Union County High School football, and I believe he has become my personal secretary. He calls me every morning about 5:30 just to check on me and make sure that I'm doing all right, which is fine because I'm up, but just to make sure I'm doing all right and to let him know let me know what time he's planning on coming to work. He used to come in with me, and I go to work pretty early, but he used to ride with me. But he's found him a new schedule. He likes to come in about lunchtime, but sometimes I have to leave after I get finished because I'm still teaching 2 blocks in the morning, and he'll call me and say, "I'm ready." I say, "All right, I'll be there, buddy. I'll be there in a minute." And, he only lives about 2 or 3 minutes from the school. So I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else. He's been a staple of Union County and Union County football forever. When I came as a player back in 1994, started my career as a player, Cornbread was there. And he's awesome. He's really happy. He's really been supportive of me, and happy that we're able to do this together because we've been together for a long time. And there ain't nothing like him. And it wouldn't be the same if he wasn't still doing it. And he actually started at Lockhart and went to Lockhart and knew my mother-in-law who worked at Lockhart. And he came to Union back in the 80s with Coach Billy Jack Moore. And Coach Moore was coaching at Lockhart, and he came on staff with Coach Dula. And so Cornbread came with him. And Coach Dula, if I'm not mistaken, is actually the one that gave him his nickname, Cornbread. And so it stuck with him. So I just call him James because he's my buddy. He's my number one guy.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And Coach, last one before I let you go. I know it's still kind of early in the process, but do you have any goals set for that 2026 season for Union County?
Just to go out there and put the best product on the field that we can. One of the things that I believe we're going to go play hard. We're going to play with great sportsmanship and play the right way. And we're going to do everything we can to fight, scratch, and claw to win football games. That's the goal. Obviously, the goal is to win every game you play, but that's the goal. But we're going to go out there and represent our county and represent our program, the tradition, the pride of it, the right way. And if we can do that and go fight, scrap, claw, stay in the ball game, give ourselves a chance to win, no matter what, and we're going to hold our heads up high and be proud of the effort and the way things go and unfold and just keep building. I think I tell my players in the weight room, and now that we started practice on the field in spring, is we're just going to keep stacking days on days. Just keep stacking days on days. And when you have a tough day, then you're going to stack a better day on it the next day. And, that's how we're going to do it in a few years. Hopefully that I'll be blessed to be able to be in this position for a few years to leave it in a better place than I found it. And I hope that's not anytime soon, but that's the plan to build this thing back and to a prideful program. And whoever comes after me, they'll find it in a much better place.
Well, this has been great. I want everyone to go check out Coach Robinson of the Yellow Jacket program on social media. He does a great job updating things about his kids and his program. Certainly check him out on there. Like I mentioned, follow us at Movin Chains on all social media, website movinchains.com, and our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. Movin The Chains, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Jarrell, anything else for Coach? Let him go tonight.
Well, Coach Robinson, I just want to say congratulations and thank you so much for joining us this evening as we get to know you a little bit better. I know the listeners are going to be Union County heavy, so I'm sure they're very familiar with you and what your plans are for the program. I know it's always special. These are the cool ones, where you get to coach at your alma mater. I can't imagine how great that is for you, and just really rooting for you and your team to stay healthy through summer, the spring, and things like that. And I will leave you with this story. I was a below average football player in the state of South Carolina. I went to Travelers Rest High School. We snuck into the playoffs my junior year. You guys were a 1 seed. This was back in fall of 2005. And I think Troy Epps had 30 sacks that game. And I just remember that was like my welcome to high school football. It was just so awesome to see that community, that stadium packed. And I'm just really excited to see what you're going to be able to do to get this program
Appreciate it. I believe I was at that game. I was coaching at Jonesville, and we had gotten out early that year, and I was at that game.
JVs were playing in the second quarter, Coach.
Well, you talk about what that stadium looks like. One of my favorite pictures, and I have a gigantic print of it behind my desk in my classroom, and I had a big one made to hang in my office, and it's a picture of Union County Stadium the night we played Chester in the Upper State Championship game, and every single seat in that sideline on the home stands were packed, and they were down in the end zones, and that's one of my favorite pictures, because when the kids come into my classroom or the kids come into my office, I want them to see that this is what this county will do for our program when we go out and have success. And it doesn't mean it has to be the upper state championship game, but you go out there and have success, they will come and they will support and they'll cheer and they'll watch. And that's what I want from my players. The same that I had opportunity when I played and the same that I've had the opportunity to coach in as well.
Well, Coach, we appreciate it, man. Look forward to stopping by our practice or game and getting to meet you in person here soon.
Sure.
And
Anytime.
best of luck moving forward, all right?
Yes, thanks, guys. Thank y'all very much for having me.
Yes, sir.
Get ready for the ultimate South Carolina high school football experience with Movin The Chains. From previews to recaps, we've got you covered. Dive into our expert preview shows, predicting winners and sharing insights. Then join us post-game for the thrilling recaps, exclusive interviews, and highlights you won't find anywhere else. Plus, connect with fellow fans on our Friday night spaces on Twitter/X. No one covers South Carolina high school football like us. Join us at Movin Chains on all social media platforms and visit movinchains.com today.